Okay, sweet. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Wire Guitars here, back again with a bit of a replay analysis here. I'm playing Brood in a 5K average game. I'll just cut straight into it and say that I haven't watched this game in a little I haven't I haven't watched this replay at all, and it's been a few days since I've played this game, so I've pretty much forgotten a good chunk of it. So it'll be an interesting replay to watch from that perspective. Like, you guys and I will get our own sort of fresh perspectives on it. Of course, I did play the game, so I'll know a little bit more about it than you guys will. But regardless of that, so there'll be that interesting dynamic of it. And also, Brood is a really bad hero right now. Like, very, 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 very bad. We did not see this hero get picked at all at TI. Not even as like some crazy cringe counter last counter pick. So yeah, I want to show you guys basically how I'm having impact on Brood this patch in rank games. To be fair, my MMR has dropped quite a bit since we last touched base. I'm down to like 5,200 or some crazy crap. Divine for you. This is pretty garbo. But I still won this game, and it is a ranked game. And I know a lot of people watch my replays just to understand kind of what I'm thinking about, regardless of the MMR. But also, there's a fair number of you that aren't even at this MMR, so maybe this can still somewhat be educational for you, especially if you're curious about Brood. So in this game, I think I knew I was against a monkey. I didn't know who their 4 and 5 were. It was quite likely it would be Lich here, but it ends up being an ogre, so they're going to kind of just play this rundown lane, which will be annoying. I didn't know what items I wanted to start, so I remember starting these 3 branches thinking, like, that'll be a nice little, like, there's a nice assortment of stats, and I can leverage one of the branches to benefit my region. It sucks to use it here at the beginning of the game to not get any value out of the stats that the item provides, but I just kind of felt scared getting ran at down to half HP here. And you can see this is just Monkey King. This hero's super annoying, especially since Brood is losing HP now whenever she's getting hit. It's like his ability to run you down is just that much better in the early game. So definitely have to play a bit cautious on these first few creep waves. I have the corrosion queued up here. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue like if I'm gonna full buy the item here. We can see I do appear to have bought the blight stone. I think I'm figuring that out right now, and yes, that is exactly what I did. I'll just stay on my player perspective the entire time. So I do apparently value the ability to basically pick up an extra quelling blade for last hitting. You know, blight stone gives you -2 armor on creeps. Melee creeps anyways have 2 armor. That means that they go from 10 damage mitigation to 0. And for Brood, I guess that's not an extra quelling blade. That's like, you know, 6 extra damage against creeps or so. I guess with your Q popped, it's a little bit more. But in any case, yeah, like the Blightstone definitely going to help me last hit here. Also going to help me with trades a little bit. Sucks to miss those 2 range creeps, but those were pretty hard to get. And really, I guess just prioritizing defensive laning in this game. I won't rewind the replay, but we've seen basically I've just been playing a very farm-oriented, non-aggressive approach here, contesting CS as best I can in lieu of going for very aggressive dives on the opponent. And I mean, that's kind of just what you got to do on Brood. Unfortunately, this hero kind of sucks until you hit level 3. When you hit level 3, you can hit a bit of a spike where you have a point in all of your abilities. You know, the webs just are giving you natural value, but it's mostly just having a point in your Q and your E. And especially if you have like an Orb of Corrosion or some reason to help you help trade, like a Gloves of Haste, Orb of Corrosion, or just a Blightstone or Orb of Venom against the right heroes can do enough for you. So here we're not seeing me play as aggressively. It seems like I'm using my Q more so just to like deny them CS and then also get my HP back, which is still pretty good. Phoenix Brood, I do think it's strong at level 2 on Phoenix and then level 3 on Brood. So I think we're strong right now here in the lane if we wanted to, and I'm getting my boots here. So yeah, we can see my hero is going to suddenly have this ability to run them down, and I guess that's kind of what we're going for here. Monkey seems to be stacking up some Jingu. Oh, almost gets the Q off. I'm going to actually get a fresh little rewind off on that because he was at 4 stacks. Look, it's 2, 3, you can't see my name's kind of blocking it. 4, the Phoenix slow with the W, and he just barely misses his Q connect onto 2 heroes, which probably would have given him full HP. So that was a really close engagement. As we see now, I'm running down this Ogre with my Phoenix, getting him slowed up on the, well, I guess I just have him slowed with my E there, I think. Why is Ogre slowed? That doesn't probably matter. I can't remember if does this last for 5 years? No, it lasts for 4 seconds. So, yeah, it must have just been that and then the lingering effects of my E. Unless I think I would have used my E on the monkey in that engagement, correct? Would have made way more sense for me to have E the monkey. Yeah, definitely E the monkey here. So, yeah. Okay, sorry, I am actually just rewinding. E the monkey, so obviously he's missing some autos here. I think he like missed 1 auto. And then he was getting his attack speed slowed, so just a very annoying lane for Monkey to play against. And then how is this Ogre getting slowed here? He's not. He's just a very slow hero, because Phoenix's W doesn't slow you. It's 290 move speed. And then he uses all of the mangoes at the end there. That's a really bad. Really. So giga bad start for them. To be fair, pretty close. I'm going to load up the last hits and denies and go back to my hero here. As I have my boots completed, my blightstone, and 2 kills under our belts. I have 2 assists, I guess. We're feeling good about this. Phoenix is feeling good. I'm definitely feeling good because I'm not losing the lane outright. In fact, we're winning the lane. Like, Brood doesn't usually even win lanes anymore because of how dog shit the hero is. So it's pretty nice to just be able to like win lanes, as we currently are. As we're seeing this Phoenix pull a very nice timing, but then Ogre comes to remedy it. This Phoenix, I should say, I am stacking with him. That is Fen from my stream. Just a guy that I occasionally stack with. Really good player. Really good 4 position. Known for his techies. And also known for being an exceptional cook. As we're just really owning the lane. That's kind of what we're doing here. We're just owning the lane. Doesn't matter what Monkey King's doing. We're just owning the lane, right? We have a ball of their creeps on our side, so this is going to be really sick. If they can't pull, if they can't stack pull, because not even a pull is going to remedy this. This Ogre needs to get a stack off and pull at 516, or this lane is done. Like, I'm perma-freezing this shit at my tower, and I'm never letting this monkey walk up, right? I have the corrosion finished. I have boots. I have my E. I have my Q, and I'm just running. I'm like, yo, I got corrosion. I'm going on this monkey. Don't care about creeps. Don't care about nothing. Look at this. GG. GG. Like, look at this crap, dude. This is Brood. People forget this hero just does this. Like, you just, and Phoenix is also an incredibly strong, like, enabling hero for this, due to the fact that she can reduce the monkey's attack speed and slow him. Like, we have a very oppressive lineup, like, lane here, in terms of, screwing over monkey, gimping monkey. It's not just going to be a free lane for a monkey. We're going to hit our timings, we're going to combine our spells, and the monkey's going to have a hard time. So that's definitely helping us out here. But look, the lane is still pushing into us. So this monkey is sitting at 14 creeps, now 15, because he had to use his Q there. He's not even gonna get this range creep. I'm sitting meanwhile at 24. Like, I'm bodying this guy on CS, right? Denies, just the same. I have 12 denies in this lane. Like, I'm a Brood. Like, I'm a Brood that hasn't hit level 6, and I'm able to body this guy because I'm playing for the lane. So something I must have recognized pre-game is, I know that Brood can actually do well in this lane if I play with Sven. Like, if I play with my Phoenix and if I combine my spells, I know I can get aggressive. And that's sure enough what we did. And that's how we've had a lot of impact in the lane. As we can see, I am now at 28 CS to Monkey's 19. And a lot of that has got to be easy camp farm. You can see, yeah, he's forced to jungle. So it's like, if we check net worth, dude's getting crapped on. You could also see other lanes not doing too poorly as Magnus is going down to the Medusa, somewhat expected, as Magnus, I don't think, one of the weaknesses of the hero is that he does tend to give a bit of a free lane to the opponent that, especially if their 4 cannot enable them, which a Lich Magnus lane against a Medusa, I don't see how they ever go on Medusa. But that is not going to be the focus, as I am holding the wave up here, which is allowing the catapult to die here. It kind of sucks that I might miss the catapult, but I end up getting it. The most important thing there is that I'm killing the catapult, so there's no threat of a big push, and then I'm keeping their wave alive here. So I'm static freezing the lane, so that even though Phoenix is dying here, because Phoenix is just seeing, like, Phoenix is just going to check what is the monkey doing right now. Unfortunate that Ogre's farming with monkey to make this a little bit acceptable, that monkey's actually able to kind of jungle here, but it's definitely not bearing out as many fruits as playing the lane here is. And guys, this is one of those things to keep in mind. If you are an offlaner and you force the carry to jungle early, it is probably a good thing, right? I am 700, 800 gold up on this monkey in 2.5 levels. Like, I'm demolishing this guy in CS in just net worth. He's not having a good game on Monkey. And that's borne out in the net worth charts. Medusa's been able to play the lane, and she's been winning her lane. So she's at 3,800 net worth. Meanwhile, Monkey's at 2,400. Like, there is a vast disparity that lanes make in terms of determining your early game, and I just want everybody to remember that. Brood can do things about that. Brood can actually tear open the lane, and this is just kind of a textbook example of how important lanes are. But we'll see, because this game's definitely not over yet, right? 2K net worth lead is not the game. And the enemy definitely has some things going for them. First of all, they got this mag that will eventually recover and just be a Magnus. It's also important to note that Magnus can give Monkey and power, and that hero can actually farm like decently. You know, turn Monkey from a hero that doesn't generally flash farm into probably a flash farmer with Empower. Also, it's important to consider as they feed to, or no, I guess as they feed Lich to. Oh no, that was interesting. Yeah, Lich was actually able to get the suicide off. So Sniper getting a kill on our 5, and the Lich getting the suicide play. In return, as we're going on the Ogre here, I'm telling my Phoenix, hey, if you just play with me, I guarantee anybody that comes top is dead. I've got too many spiders, and it's too early on in the game for them to actually deal with me. As he's now TPing bottom. I remember, I think, looking bottom a few times, but I don't ever decide to TP because, I mean, like, Brood can actually TP somewhat well. When you have a lot of webs, you can actually just, like, TP in, and then web, and then just join the fight. But I remember thinking to myself, there can't be many better things than pressuring this tier 2 right now. It is actually just so big if I'm able to get this tier 2, especially early on in the game. So I'm going to pull my spiders on it, and then when it gets back to protection, I'm going to let it go. But I'm really just going to focus on getting the spider army big here and trying to just push into this tower. Which, I guess I'm not really doing here maybe as much as I should. I'm always afraid of, like, because I don't see as many heroes on the map, I'm always afraid of, like, Magnus coming in and just killing my Spider Ball in 2 hits. But it appears to be the case that Mag isn't that interested in doing that. But what I am interested in doing is controlling this jungle here, making sure Monkey can't farm. So I guess we're giving up some farm, or we're giving up some pressure on the top tower here to take a bit of these hard camps, or to take some of these camps away, potentially from Monkey. We're pushing the lane. Kind of speed through a little bit here. This is like just Brood things, you know, when the enemy can't really deal with you. Like, the best they could do is, yeah, TP Mag top and try to have him. He can at least be like a force, right? Like a hero that I can't push into for a little while. And they TP'd him up at the right time too, when a catapult was actually threatening the towers. When they finally said, okay, Mag's got to go top. So it's like basically when I finally represent a threat to their tower is when they'll TP somebody top. You can see my Orca timing probably feels a little bit delayed here. I probably could have had it at 10 minutes, but opting for that early Orb of Corrosion and the boots will delay the Orca timing a little bit. I think it's worth it, you know, if you can dominate your lane as well as I did, and I was able to with the boots and the Orb of Corrosion for sure. But there is a cost to it for sure. My team keeps fighting around the map, and they keep taking these like even trades. And it's kind of it's putting me on edge because it makes me feel like I'm not applying enough pressure, and I remember feeling that way in the game. And so I do remember we're going to see me make a very, very pivotal mistake coming up here, where I remember saying to myself, I need to make a play, and it just ends up being bad. Right there, I make a good play of saying, okay, mid tower needs to be threatened, so I'm going to put 2 webs there. So I do that, and then I start sending my spiders mid, and I think good things come from this generally. This is something that Brood offlane, or Brood in general, should just be doing, is if she's in a side lane, and she generally wants to be playing in side lanes, she needs to at least always have the pressure applied to mid, if it's mid tier 1, because mid tier 1 has no backdoor protection, so you can just sneak your spiders in here and just threaten the tower even if the creep wave isn't there. And like, what does that cost me to do, right? Besides a little bit of micro and some spiders that I could be using to farm, but it forces their heroes to sit mid and cast spells on things that aren't even creeps. They have to cast spells on my neutral, on my spiders, right? And so here I'm kind of farming in front of Mag here, feeling a little bit unsafe. I don't know why I don't put like a web behind me and hit this, because like you'll see I'm off webs here. I think I was just a little bit I was conscientious, that's right, of my web placement. I was like, if I place a web here, then I'm not gonna, you know, be able to connect. No, I should just place a web here, I think, and break this web. That's what I should do. Try to give myself access to these camps, at least these 3 camps, and mid and top. That's what I should be playing right now. That's the way I should be. As I complete my Orchid and my team wants to smoke top, this is the weird thing that we're kind of playing in 2 lanes at once. I understand Dawnbreaker has this super cool ability to do that kind of. Like, Dawnbreaker gets to play like a Spectre, you know, you get to push out a lane, and then, hold up, as we are going in on this Mag, I think we're going to get him. Yeah, definitely going to get that guy. As my Orchid being complete, plus the combined spells of the Phoenix and the Quap will definitely bring that hero down. And that's really good because Mag is basically the only thing holding me back from pushing this tower. Mag, I guess, and their entire team. Of course, if they TP Sniper and Monkey, or if they TP in like both supports, I'll have to be a bit cautious. But yeah, so they're going to glyph. We're going to glyph immediately too. And I do think they're going to be TPing in their supports here, as they look to be wanting to defend this tower, I think. I don't know. They're not showing on like 2 heroes right now, but they're also playing in bottom on Sniper. So they're either all sitting behind Sniper, or yeah, they're just going to completely give up this tower. They glyph it, which means they're looking at you, and they're playing in at least one aggressive lane here on Sniper. You have to wonder what he's doing, but nope. Okay, his team is slowly coming to reinforce him, as they will bring down the Phoenix. I guess we could just check out what happened exactly. It's my Phoenix, and this guy's got to have like the entire team behind him, right? Yeah, he does. So this 4-position sniper, or no, it's mid sniper, right? No, I was just clicked on ogre's items for some reason. This mid sniper went bottom to apply some pressure on the safe lane tower. I guess the enemy's feeling scrambled right now. They're like, guys, we got to take back some pressure on the map. Okay, we can't just lose all of our towers. And then this is where I make this giga throw. I don't know why, but me seeing my subs die bottom, I saw the Phoenix die, and then shortly after I saw Dawnbreaker die, or getting dove on, and then I remember thinking like, I just gotta, like, something should be happening right now. It feels bad to just have what's happening on the map be happening, but it wasn't. All 3 of our cores are farming, and like, yeah, they're gonna take safe lane tower here, which they wouldn't have had to have done if I hadn't TP'd and if my supports hadn't TP'd, but like, this is just bad. Like, Quap is down here, which is one of the reasons why I felt like kind of strong here, but like, nah, this is just fucking bad. This is garbage. Just garbage, and I don't even think the Quap gets the kill. But she does feed. So suddenly a situation where we shouldn't have lost anybody, right? Like, Phoenix shouldn't have been pushing out that far in safe lane, turns into all 4 of us feed. And it's not like, I'm not saying that's Phoenix's fault or anything like that. I'm saying like all 4 of us fed. I'm a part of that. I fed, and my death was completely avoidable. I could have just not TP'd. I don't know why I TP'd. The fact that I TP'd indicates that I am definitely fallible this game and prone to being able to make an incorrect decision. So yeah, one of those opportunities to learn, I guess you could say. As I am going for this aghs after Orchid Rush. I went Orchid Rush with no power treads or anything like that. I don't think the boots too are particularly necessary in most Brood games, at least not like early. You know, you could say treads you can get a power spike going with, but I'd prefer to just get a quicker Orchid if I'm going to go the treads route. If I'm trying to right-click people early on as Brood, I would just rather get a quicker Orchid. I don't see any reason in completing treads unless I can play in a way where I can make treads look really good. And the ways that you make treads look really good is if you're able to like play in the mid-game fights a lot. Brood with treads, mostly sticking on strength treads, is deceptively tanky. With treads at this stage in the game, I would have 11 armor and 1600 HP, almost 1700 HP. I would be very tanky. I'd be hard to go on. And treads would be contributing that, right? Treads would give me the 10 extra strength. It would also give me the ability to actually like turn this into a somewhat decent amount of lifesteal. It would probably encourage me to level this a bit if I had treads. But in this game, I'm thinking more of like a backline play style. Like, that's the beauty of Brood. She is a flexible hero. You can play this hero as sort of an aggressive dive type hero, like, run on them and just right click them to death. And things that would indicate that you want to do that is going like Orchid, BKB with treads or something like that, and then having your Insatiable Hunger get maxed out next. Like, have this be the second ability that you max out, because it's actually quite a good ability if you max it second for that playstyle. But this game, I say, there's a sniper, there's a monkey ring I don't want to walk into. They've got a plethora of stuns. I definitely need a BKB second item, and even that wouldn't help that much against sniper monkey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go backline diver. And this is what I love. This is actually like my preferred Brood playstyle ever since the reworks. Ever since she's been given the Silken Bola spell, she's felt like this hero that can actually finally play like a Dagon, E-Blade, like the way that puppies used to play her, but it was bad. And now it's like kind of good. I think it could get a lot better. Like, since they nerfed the damage on her ulti, it feels like it's been taken a big backseat. The backline diving playstyle of Brood is now more oriented around the aghs, where you'll see I'm getting at this game. It'll be a treat for all of us to watch, because I don't think many of you, if you're watching this channel, even if you are still subscribed for Brood content, maybe you guys haven't been playing Brood that much this patch because she seems so dog shit. You don't even know what Brood aghs does. So it'll be a treat for me to explain when I pick up the Brood aghs. I'll get to explain what it does, and we'll get to like kind of see how I use it this game to have some amount of impact. As we can see, like, I am definitely going to have some amount of impact this game, as I am second to highest net worth. I'm obviously turning this gold into something useful, as it looks like I'm calling for my Medusa to come over here and take Roche with me. Something about this is making me feel confident. I think I just saw enough heroes bottom and said to myself, you know what, dude, like, we could just take it. I have work completed. I have an insane mischance. We probably could have done this earlier too, for that matter. But yeah, we're doing it now. pretty much no pressure whatsoever, especially with the healing provided by Medusa. This is one of the nice things about Medusa, or about Brood, especially when you get to play her on Radiant, is Roche is always on the table. You're pretty good at taking Roche. You can always sustain it with your Q. You have minions to tank for you. You do decent damage to it, and you have some utility to make it miss against you, you know, so it's not bashing your team a bunch. Your hero's quite good against, I guess, good against Roche, or like can mount a rather good offensive for Roche. You can get vision with your spiders. It's just super good. I remember TPing down here, but I think ultimately, like, the quap being down there is just to make space for the Roche. I shouldn't think of that as a reason to even consider going to. We want to be playing mid and top this game, for sure. That's where my webs are. That's where we are. That's where I'm going to be placing my aghs webs, or traps, rather. When I get my aghs, I'll explain. Like, this is the area that we want to play in. If I'm playing bottom, it's because we're in safety mode. It's because I'm in, like, oh my god, my team's in recovery mode. I can play bottom this game. Don't get me wrong, Brood can definitely play bottom this game, especially with the aghs. You become very adept at playing bottom, and I think I even do that at some point. But first, we want to be taking this mid and top. We want to be establishing at least one lane of racks, mid or top, that needs to die, because this is just where all my webs are. These are the lanes that we have pushing, and these are, quite frankly, the lanes that are easiest for us to take. I know there is still this tier 2 bottom that we should take, especially with aegis at some point, and it looks like we are kind of going towards there. But like, in an ideal world, Brood would be able to just play in the web that she had, in the map that on the side of the map that she had webs established on, and then gradually move over to the other side of the map. So we're kind of playing a little bit out of our comfort zone, even standing off of webs right here before I finally realized, they could have vision here, and so I should always be on webs. This is what's so awkward about it, right? Is you have to establish an entirely new trail of webs, and it has to develop into that tier 2 and around where we need to fight. So I need to just basically make sure there's webs everywhere, because I need to be able to play in all of these areas of the map. I'm not even getting anything out of Brood if I'm not doing that, if I'm not playing hella aggressively. And look at this mag. This is so beautiful. I'm able to just poke him with my spider showing. I could even have orchided him there. The big issue here is I just don't have mana. That's one big issue of going aghs in general, is like, I have a big mana pool, but Orchid just isn't enough. Orchid Soul Ring is not enough mana. I should have probably gotten like an Arcane Boots at some point with this build. But as we do see, I do have the aghs finished. I'm now beginning to put up the traps as we get that kill on monkey. I'm going to now explain what Brood aghs does in case you don't know what they are or what it does. So the ability is called Spinner's Snare, and what it does is it creates a line on the ground that is 900 units long, so quite long, as you can see, quite long in width on the ground. It is completely invisible. Nobody can see it besides your team. And when I say completely invisible, I mean like truly invisible. Like True Sight doesn't even detect it. There's no amount of detection, no kind of detection in the game that enables the enemy to see the Spinner's Snare until one of them steps on it. So that's pretty strong already. Okay, but wait, I haven't even gotten to the best part. When it is triggered, right? Again, fully invisible, by the way, you cannot see it. When they do stand on it, it then shows itself and does 100 damage per second to them. Magic, of course, so you can kind of consider this as like 300 damage in total if it's allowed to remain for the full 4 seconds, right? But when it does trigger, for 4 seconds after that, they are briefly slowed until they are snared, or rooted, rather, again, for 4 full seconds. They get rooted for 4 full seconds, taking 100 magic damage per second, essentially taking, by the end of it, 300 magic damage, or 75 damage per second, if you will. To most heroes that have 25% magic resistance. And then again, they're rooted that entire duration as well. For 4 seconds long, they're rooted. In addition to that, there's some nice cool little like flavor things. Your team is notified when somebody steps on it with a ping on the map. So if I have a snare set here and the enemy walks over it, my team gets pinged, and then their like icon on the minimap shows up no matter what, even if they're invisible. I guess Slark might have an exception to that, but it reveals anything that steps over it. If you're invisible, it doesn't matter, you get revealed. And I don't know if we'll get an opportunity to see that in this game, but I did play a Brood game after this where I went against a Monkey King that weirdly enough went Shadowblade. You'd think that Monkey Kings would like to hop in trees, not go around the map. Like, you already have one broken way of map traversal that the enemies can't see you with. Why would you go and buy a different one? Why would you spend money on a worse one? Like, Anyways, he went Shadow Blade on Monkey King, and I remember the Axe Scepter was very useful to scout him out when he was trying to gank me, because he would just, you know, when you have Shadow Blade, you kind of just walk. You can't cast spells really because it reveals your invisibility. So you kind of just walk around, and as you're walking around, you just land on a trap and get rooted for 4 seconds, and it reveals you. So I get to see you, so I can go on you if I want to. Very powerful. You can have 5 active total, right? And there's a bit of a delay before they actually like form fully, so it's like 2 seconds or something like that. You can't just place them on the ground instantly. They do have to kind of arm, so to speak, as we saw they were like sort of rooting together before they finally come together. But again, 900 units wide. These things are they cover so much. Like you can pretty much completely cut off the enemy from a tower, as we can kind of see. That's what I'm doing right here, and they can't even see them as well, so they can't see or play around these at all. But I have so much of the map just controlled. If this ogre steps too far forward, he's going to get rooted if he's not careful, and we'll see. Yeah, so we'll just kind of see the embodiment of that this game, hopefully, as I'm sort of acting like a bunch of just a big zonal control on my brood here. I'm placing traps there on that high ground. I'm standing up here giving my team 1800 day vision, basically just acting as a ward right here, just being a sentinel for my team. I want my team to feel safe as they farm this area, like they're not going to come fight us. And I'm also waiting for my snares. And then whoop, I'm pinging the sniper. I'm like, oh, he could walk on my trap. Oh, I'm gonna stay up here, get vision. Might be overcommitting here. Oof. As it looks like we will be going on the sniper. I'm gonna run back because I see the monkey coming up. Sure enough, monkey's right there. I have axe. I don't have the axe shard. This is super big that I don't have the axe shard because I can't hit monkey with it. But going in on this fight, none of them are activating my traps. This is kind of unfortunate. My traps are being completely ignored in this entire game so far. But it seems to be the case that we're taking kind of a botch fight, maybe a little bit. Both of our supports are dead, and I'm getting RP'd. Ugh, this is yikes. This is yikes. All right, let's explain why this fight's so bad. I don't think this fight had to be bad. This fight had the potential to be extremely well for it, to go extremely well for us. It kind of sucks that we don't have a ward on that high ground. The first big issue is my traps aren't being used at all. You can't see them because of the replay bug, but like I have a trap there. I don't think it gets hit or activated at all. Or if it does, it got like BKB'd off or something like that. The second issue is they were able to kill the egg, the monkey BKB. We didn't really have any answer, so to speak, right? By this point, like, he dodges the scream. He's just so tanky. Like, he's appearing so... him dodging the scream there baited us into this RP. That's, like, the big issue right there. Is I guess we just missed scream. Or Sonic Wave, I should say. I think if we hit that and he just dies there, we don't get baited into this 3-man RP. Because it's really not even looking that bad. You know? Like, yeah, it sucks we lost both supports, but Sniper died and bought back. And we could still kill Monkey here for free. If we hit Scream there, yeah. That's kind of insane, actually. Us missing Scream of Pain here actually is just, like, so big. If we hit Scream of Pain here, we can just back off. You know? Get a Sniper buyback, kill the Monkey. Don't even have to commit Aegis. You know, maybe Quap dies, but I don't even know if she does die, to be honest with you. Because she could just blink out instantly after that kill, or I guess whenever blinks up. But because she misses that scream, pretty easy scream to hit, might I add. But because she misses that scream, we have this very awkward state where we have to like overcommit onto this monkey. Mag hits a 3-man RP, and then we just all feed. So, very unfortunate fight there. But it is what it is, you know? No flame or anything like that. I'm just trying to break down those fights, understand what went so wrong about them. As we can see, finally, my traps are getting some value. You can see what happens. He walks over both of them. Walks over one right here. Gets rooted for 4 seconds. Takes a moderate amount of damage. At this stage in the game, I've gotten this item first, before Orchid. And when you purchase this item, and heroes are like level 10 or level 10 or level 11, like core heroes are that level, like they actually really do feel the damage that the axe does. But it's mostly about the root. It's about the fact that it's this invisible thing that you put on the ground that's uninteractable with. So it's not like a techie's mind where you can kill it. They can't see it and they can't kill it. There's nothing they can do about it, right? And if they touch it, they get rooted for 4 seconds. Now they can BKB that off, they can Lotus that off, but at the end of the day, it's something that they have to deal with. They're forced to deal with it. There's no counterplay to it, and in the right circumstance, it can be very impactful. right? Imagine if they're pushing high ground and they just get randomly brood rooted when they have no creeps around or something like that. Well, then suddenly they might have to BKB that off or risk getting engaged on. And, you know, like in this game in particular, like couldn't we just burst them maybe if they're getting caught on high ground and taking a bunch of magic damage and physical damage from the tower? You know, couldn't we just jump in on like Quap and myself and just go cast spells on that hero and kill them? So your high ground instantly becomes better when you pick this up. It becomes more difficult for the enemy to end the game. That's one initial benefit of Brood Aghs, is the same kind of, you know, techies tech, if you will. And then another big aspect is you get to take over a side of the map completely. So like Brood's already pretty adept at taking over the map. She gets to do it even better with this Brood Aghs. As you can see, like, look, I'm putting up snares for in case they engage on us. It's kind of difficult. I'm not going to lie. Like, you have to have some game sense, you know? I mean, it really is like techies. Like, they're traps, you know? So you have to think as though you were a techies in the sense of, like, where would the enemy play? What would they be doing, you know, as Phoenix makes a god play to TP out there off the map. You know? Sometimes you want to play uber aggressively with them, but then you realize that they end up doing nothing because the enemy's able to pop them in super safe locations. Other times you want to play super safe with them, but then they get no value because your team wants to play a little bit more aggressive than, like here, like, you know, I'm putting traps here, but my team is like, we're like here, you know? So I'm not going to get any value out of this trap unless I pressure the objective with us. So you have to know basically where the objectives are, where they want to play on the map, where you want to play on the map, and kind of play accordingly. Make sure that it's going to have a high... This is where I'm considering, like, these are going to be high impact snares, right? It's like, if they're going to walk off the beaten path into these areas, there's a pretty good chance they're going to get hit by it, and it's going to be impactful in some ways. If nothing else, it's protecting me. It's going to require basically Magnus blinking over the wall and RPing me and skewering me back into his team this way for me to die, you know? Otherwise, I'm probably going to be safe because these snares are going to alert me when people want to come invade me. And we'll see. We will get some value out of these snares here. They're going to look strong this game at some point. As Phoenix is unfortunately dying to the Ogre. We have a certain area of the map that we want to play, and we really don't want to rotate off that too much. One thing I like to do after this Brood Aghs is I like to go Aether Lens to increase the cast range of the ability. I'm not entirely sure if it's good. Brood still needs mana, so it's nice to also be able to deal with your mana issues. And then when you get the Shard too, you just become this super long range fighter, where like I can throw Orchid and like 800 magic damage on somebody, right? 160 and then like 500, I guess, with the talent. Yeah, like this ability is so shit now since they nerfed it. But either way, like I can throw, you know, 600 magic damage on somebody, 660 magic damage, you know, bump that up to like 800 or so when you account for the fact that I have Orchid. And like you do that somewhat regularly, you know, 7-second cooldown here, 12-second cooldown here. Of course, Orchid has that juicy 18-second cooldown, feels bad, man. But it's useful, it's impactful in fights. You know, if I land that on like a Monkey King or something like that, when his BKB is down, it might cancel a stun. On Magnus, you know, it cancels a lot of his abilities on Lich, etc. It's Orchid, like it's just one of those. It's one of those items that has that nice flexible cast range, that lets you play kind of a backliner for it. 900 cast range is very forgivable. And then with the Aether, it's 1100. Going on the sniper, look, I come in, I place a trap, and that's actually like super intelligent for him to just walk this way suddenly, knowing that I would place a trap here. It actually saves his life. So well played on sniper's behalf, recognizing, hey, Brood's gonna come in and try to cut me off, place a trap here. And like that was super smart that he did that and just outplayed the shit out of me. Now Magnus is walking into it, and you can see like it is beneficial. Say Mag was trying to make a play on me there, smoked or some shit. Well, they are getting rooted up, so that's nice. And it's nice that it's showing me that. It's nice that it gives you the vision. I love that so much. It gives you the vision over the hero too. Plays well with bounty hunters, tinkers. You know, any hero that likes to have vision over a target because they can do some really abusable long range bullshit with. Brood plays well with now, and so that's another thing that you got to keep in mind. Like when you're playing Brood, it's like your hero's suddenly kind of cancer with. I mean, your hero has always been cancer, right? You're Broodmother, but you're suddenly also now kind of cancer with all these other annoying picks. You can play super defensively with these webs too. Just look at this. Look at how I place this next web. Oh, juicy defense. Lich gets caught instantly, 4 steps away, and I'm still able to do a fuck ton of damage on them. Look at this Lich. This guy's half HP. After that Orchid pops. I guess the Orchid did pop. Yeah, half HP on Lich, and they want to smoke. It's like I just chunked this Lich, and now they're gonna insta smoke. You play low cooldown. It's like Brood kind of plays like she plays in this style anyways, a very annoying aggressive style. You're just beating people up, you know, nuking them, bursting them, pressuring towers, trying to get as much mana as humanly possible. The enemy smokes into you. They fight around. I love this. I love how they approach this. They say, hey, our jungle's off limits. There's just too many fucking webs there. Don't play there. And so they play around here instead of into the jungle. It's so nice when you're playing Brood, when you can bait people into your side of the map. Like, that's how you win fights, is you just convince them, the enemy team, to fight onto your side. Come in here. I just don't have mana. This is such a big issue with the style of Brood, man. Not having mana feels so bad. I could be nuking people, I could be putting snares down, I just don't got the mana. Should really have arcanes, that's for sure. 100% need arcanes. But yeah, they collapse on their supports, and because my Medusa and myself are still alive, and Quap is as well, or she wasn't alive, but she did work in that fight, we were able to clean up. Sniper comes up top, and I'm just like, Sniper, I don't even care about you, okay? Unless you have like a mag or something, like, I'm just gonna kill your tower. I'm gonna do damage. I'm gonna do chip damage. That's all I cared about in that situation. It's just the chip damage I can do to towers. One really, really rough nerf, the biggest thing I hope they revert about the hero, is they make her level 20 talent feel good again. Like, spider damage talent, you know, I was never hot on it when it first came out. But the new playstyle of Brood being this sort of backline hero, and also just like general playstyle changes that I've had on Brood have made me realize, like, spider attack damage is very useful. You know, giving your neutral creeps the ability to farm way quicker and also hit towers way quicker or fast or stronger. That's so high value. It being moved, the talent being moved to only affecting the spider's damage to buildings, and especially with that talent being so bad and numerically, it's like it's only 50%. So before, you'd give your spiders like 12 damage. That would double their damage. It would be 100% damage. Now it's plus 50% damage, and it's only to buildings. So it's super bad. It's like actually just horrible compared to what it was. And it's a terrible talent. It feels very unimpactful when you pick it up. Your spiders just kind of only, I mean, they just chew on buildings a little bit more. It's like not even that much. Here I complete the E-Blade. I definitely need arcane boots. That's like my biggest issue here, is not having some way of getting my mana back. It feels so bad to go on this monkey, and I even pop his BKB, but I just don't have any mana. Like, I can't play my hero effectively without mana. So definitely the biggest mistake I make this game, I think, is just this mid-game itemization where I do not ever seem to have mana for the spells that I need to cast. You could argue that I'd be actually like a lot more fine on mana if I wasn't casting spells so regularly, but that's the whole point of this style of Brood, is to be casting spells regularly. Like, I want to be getting value out of my basic abilities. I want to be putting traps on the ground. I want to be spawning spiders. You know, I want to be having the ability to change my need for webs and positioning on the map on a dime's notice. So the hard and fast rule here is just get arcane boots, and if you still need mana after that, because you might, try to build a like less mana intensive item, I guess, than Orchid E-Blade, or less mana intensive combination of items. Like, Orchid at least gives you some mana back, but like E-Blade just costs mana, gives you 10 int, that's it. Although E-Blade allows you to do a lot of damage. There's another thing too, another equation to consider is I've not bought a single clarity, right? So afraid to damage my net worth, and also because of laziness, I have been playing so without mana, mostly due to lack of clarities, and slots too. It'd be kind of awkward. But like, look, I come in here on this guy. Let's just watch my initiation into this fight. Recognizing the sniper doesn't have a BKB, I say to myself, I have a chance to gimp the enemies here. What do I do? How do I have impact this fight? I go in and Orchid E-Blade the sniper. Now, without a BKB, this actually takes the hero out of the fight. You know, what is Sniper supposed to do when he's Orchid E-Bladed? He can't attack and he can't cast spells. So he actually just does nothing. But like, I can't actually follow up at all, really. I can't even use my nuke to get the Orchid bonus damage. Like, this sniper should be at like 30% HP, not 50%. And it should be because I'm able to come in with full mana and use all of my abilities, including my ulti. But I can't even use my ulti. One of the big threats that you can have as Brood is you can put your ulti down when you're running at people, slowing them with your E. And if they don't move, they get trapped in your ulti. And if that happens, then suddenly you just chomp them. So like, Brood's aghs actually becomes sort of an aggressive item when you run in with your E, especially with the shard, and you slow them and then put your snare on the ground. Like, your enemies, basically, they need, like, a bunch of 4 staffs or Lotus Orbs or BKBs at that point. Otherwise, they just get trapped and right-clicked. And especially with an E-Blade stats, like, I'm gonna actually hit pretty quick and hard. So, the enemy bites back entirely as we do a little bit of fountain diver runing, or, like, pseudo fountain diving. Like, I mean, look at how far up our Medusa was. This is kind of nuts. You can check her death. Hold up. She's here. She died here. So, yeah, we're quite far forward. You could say very aggressively positioned. As it looks like I'm going to die here, too. Yikes. And I think this is just because I don't have mana. Look at this. I finally buy Arcane Boots, and I'm like, oh, fuck this. I'm going Aether Lens. And Monkey jumps into my trap, but I just don't have mana. And then I unfortunately get my TP canceled. I thought my TP was a lot closer on that, actually, than it ended up being. But, yeah, very unfortunate death here, too, on me. But we kind of just threw, like... I mean, Medusa's up in 60, and they don't even have mid pushing. So we're going to have 2 glyphs here. We're going to have the glyph that we just used, and then the glyph that we're going to use here again as that tower falls. But, you know, the enemy's going to have some reprieve here. They're going to be able to push out. Monkey goes bottom. I guess we got to use out his ulti for a Quap and a Dawnbreaker ulti, but now they're pushing mid with the sniper. I accidentally bought 2 energy boosters because when you go to the secret shop and you hit the buy now button too quickly when you have an item in quick buy, it just glitches. That glitch has been in the game for a long time now. I don't know why it's like still like I have to, if you don't space out your purchases, if you don't push buy, right? If I just want to buy the item quickly, like it glitches and it's annoying as crap. I think there's an item that you can use to buy it all at once, which is what I should just be using. But I'll worry about that after the game, as I should probably focus on the egg usage that we just saw happen. What happened here? Nothing. A whole lot of nothing. Feels bad, man. Damn. Well, egg's down. I guess on the plus side, they're scared, but now they're not scared for sure because we don't have egg. But I do have these snares. We get to see sort of the yin and yang of the Broodmother aghs, right? How it defends against high ground. It's just really kind of rough sometimes when you put 2 webs on the ground and the enemy is like no chance of running over them. This is one of the reasons why I do recommend not always trying to walk into a fight with 1 spinner snare. Like, don't use all of your eggs before they hatch. Use 1, of course, but always have 1 left over in case you need to suddenly throw it down. One of the benefits of the ability is that it has 2 charges, so you should try to abuse it as such. As we're kind of just kiting fights out here, their mag dies, but so does our Dawnbreaker, and you can see Medusa's just melting like paper to the sniper, very unfortunately. But some good stick charges here, and we've got some healing coming in from the magic. I think there's a Holy Locket on my Phoenix. Yeah, he used it on the Medusa. Very good purchase. You have a Medusa on your team, Holy Locket suddenly becomes an amazing item. And you can see I just kind of come in and get an ultra kill here. How do I clean up here on my Brood here? How does Wired have impact in this game? Runs in, pops, has his Q popped, important to note, has the E-Blade, and look at him, just right-clicking the sniper down, apply the E-Blade, so now he suddenly can't right-click, and he's caught in the snare, and he's taking Orchid damage, and there's just a lot of miscellaneous damage that I have. You can also see, it's like, I'm actually, I'm still kind of a carry, like, I've got 3,500 HP, 26 armor, I'm an Agi hero, like, I'm Broodmother, you know? My Agi gain is 3.4, you know? And I have 40 agility from this item. Like, you are still Broodmother. And so I will get this Aether Lens here that I said I should get, but then I'm having the slots issue, so then I'm trying to get my courier out here, and I'm like, okay, never mind, I'll just take it instead of the Soul Ring, but the Soul Ring was a bad idea to trade out for, because I'm still going to need the Soul Ring's mana, so what I really should have done was just get rid of the Orb of Corrosion. It does feel bad to give up Orb of Corrosion, it's actually like a really nice item, but it served its purpose at this point in the game. Now the way that I'm slowing heroes is with my E, and my Snare, and E-Blade, really, you know? And so here I am, I'm running in, I'm insta-using my Spinner Snare. I think it's a little bit more okay to use your Spinner Snares instantly if you're going to use them aggressively, because at the very least when you use them aggressively, right, like they're zoning out areas, they're like proactive, you could say. If an enemy hero wants to walk up on us, like they have to walk past this, so you could say in some areas it has like proactive measures. There's of course the disadvantage that if again they engage on you and you have no Spinner Snares up, then your ability to influence the fight as it's going on is minimized, you know? If a fight is erupting and you have a Spinner Snare available and you just throw it down in the middle of the fight, that's powerful because, you know, the enemies are quite likely to just run over it, and they're just gonna get slowed. Like, I don't have any snares here because I placed one way the fuck back there. And yeah, sure, it rooted, you know, the Magnus, and maybe it maybe it made him feel like he had to do that play because he didn't have his blink up. Actually, this guy used RP. What did he do? Oh, I think I know what happens. Okay, never mind. That was a hella impactful spinner snare. Look at this. Doesn't see the trap, doesn't realize, comes over, empowers his monkey, and he's like, I'm gonna fight. And he gets rooted by the spinner snare. Okay. A giga impactful spinner snare that actually prevents the RP. That's actually insane that spinner... Okay, never mind. That was a very powerful spinner snare. And that's one of those things, you know, it's a gamble. Every time you place them aggressively, you're gambling making those plays. You're like, well, this could be the most impactful spinner snare that catches the Magnus when he's, you know... catches the Magnus when he's empowering his monkey before he's winding up that RP, catching him and making him not realize that he, you know, is getting damaged and doesn't have his blink dagger available. This could be that, or it could just not do anything. And that's kind of how I try to use the aghs in such a way that it can be giga impactful like that. And maybe I shouldn't always do that. Or if nothing else, you should just always try to bank one. You know, if you do, like, have your aggressive ones out, but then always have one in the bank so that you can still influence the fight. And that's not even a hard and fast rule, of course. You know, there's going to be some games that are different than others, where keeping even one of them as a throw. One thing's for sure, though, having the mana to be able to use your abilities is important. And that's a big issue I've been struggling with all game. As you can see, I'm dying with no mana. Always just, I have no mana to use, it seems like. And it's not like my support's faults at all, right? Like, I can't expect these guys to buy arcane boots and hold them for me or anything like that. They do have holy lockets, but they're going to be using those on the Medusa. And that's a good thing that they're doing that. The issue is just my build. I needed arcane boots, I think, after acquiring Axe Scepter, even with Orchid, especially with Orchid. And then maybe a build, like, you could do, like, Orchid Axe Aether. That could be good. Into, like, an E-Blade, if you need it, or into Octarine, you know? These are all decisions. Like, cooldown reduction is a good way to make use of your increased mana regen. So, like, I can get more value out of, like, more casts on Spawn Spiderlings, or more casts on Silkenbola, you know, or more casts on Spinner Snare, you know, or more casts on Orchid if I have a Octarine. And, of course, Octarine does make you tankier, does give you mana regen. I don't even have it in my recommended, which is probably just a mistake. So let's go ahead and correct that. Oh, I cannot edit my builds when I'm watching replays, unfortunately. But yeah, it does give you 425 HP, 725 mana, right? Very, very, very large amount of mana. The mana regen, it's not even actually that big. It's 3. Like, Orchid gives you 4. If I would click on my hero again. I'm pinging my team with the refresher shard. Yeah, so Orchid costs, you know, 3,400 gold, gives you 4 mana regen. This item that costs actually a lot less. Octarine has been buffed a lot recently, or a lot in the past. Like, back in my day, Octarine cost like 6,000 gold. Now it costs like 5,200. But still gives you 3 mana regen. It probably costs more mana than you get when you get Octarine. So what I'm assuming is you'd get your Aether Lens with your Aghs and your Orchid, and once you finish Octarine, you probably still need like an arcane boost or something. But once you get Octarine, like, you're incredibly powerful. Look at this. Like, I've got 9 seconds on Silkenbola, and Silkenbola has a 6-second duration. So this ability with the shard, if you didn't know, becomes nuts. Like, you need to BKB off this spell if it gets applied to you as a carry, or you need to have MKB, because it increases the miss chance to 80%. So you're basically not hitting shit. And it lasts 6 seconds, right? So, like, that's a long time in a fight to not be hitting anything. Again, basically, you need to get it purged off. And when the cooldown is 9 seconds with this Octarine, that basically means that, like, this is going to kind of always be on your carry if he's not purging it off consistently. Even if he is, like, the uptime on it is insane. It's just, it becomes too difficult to take long fights against Brood, because she's going to get so much value out of casting this ability so often. And that's not even to mention her other abilities, right? Spawn Spiderlings becomes a 5-second cooldown for 500 damage. That's insane. I can cast this like 4 or 5 times throughout a fight and just kill a support for free, right? Especially when you consider the cast range. Spinner Snare becomes this ability that has because of the Aether Lens, a like decent cast range. You can actually like throw it out pretty far. And again, this ability is kind of insane if you can throw it out in mid fights. Again, so you can see sort of the trap formation that I have. Like I got the wave. The wave is guarded because of this Octarine, or sorry, well, the Octarine, but also because of Aether Lens. I feel more confident putting traps up, and I've got the wave or the lane guarded. I've got the 2 entrance routes into the lane guarded. Like when you play solo Brood and you get aghs, you can actually play so safe. It's crazy. Putting another web here. Like I'm just making sure that if I ever have to play solo and rat, which is what we kind of agreed on this game, we're like, hey, that last Rax, you know what, for as long as they have aegis, I should just be ratting, and we should not be trying to take straight up fights. Okay guys, don't worry, I can do just that. So Monkey gonna be looking around for me but not able to find me. Even if he is able to find me, if he finds me in my lane, I'm probably safe because I've just got so many ways to just say F you if they ever go on me. And this is a lot of pressure. Like the enemy team, you know, for fear of getting mega, they can't ever really push out even with this aghs or even with this aegis. And that's a real struggle, you know. They just pick off our Phoenix. It's like they can't do shit with it. What are they going to do? Are you guys going to go push out? Oh guys, Phoenix is dead, let's go push out. No, you're not going to push out, you know. Doesn't matter how aggressively our supports play at this moment. Both of them could feed, and their ability to play aggressively would boil down to whether or not they could get a pick off. And to be fair, with no supports, our team probably could get picked off on cores, but look at that. Like, I'm so annoying against this Monkey, dude. This guy needs to go heal up. He's feeling kind of squish, right? Like, he just gets bursted down to half when he steps on my web, steps on my snare, and I use spells on him. And their team can't go on me. I really want to stress that. Like, they just can't find an angle. It would require a very far and fortuitous blink from this mag, and it would require I would need to make several mistakes. I would need to like show in a stupid and awkward way, and I would need to have like no spinner snares in places where I could basically catch their supports. Because it's not even like about the mag really. It's just about, it is kind of about the mag, because mag's RP skewer can skewer them back into support. So it's really just about making sure that mag can't get on me to begin with, and if I'm placing my webs and my snares intelligently, he can't. So I can just hold this stage of the map, or this part of the map forever, and it's like, I don't care if Monkey's doing what Monkey's doing. Like, I'm just gonna, you know, hold this position on the map. And die to sniper, because I forget to use Ghost Blade on myself. What the heck? Oh god, that's so weird that I die there. Look at this. First of all, how do they have vision? I don't think this is just shrapnel. Am I wrong? It is just shrapnel? Wow. Look at this. How do I not use Ghost Scepter on myself? Oh, that hurts. That hurts so much, dude, to die like that. Oh, God. That's so bad. Just Ghost Scepter yourself, Wired. That's all you had to do. Ghost Blade. Ghost Blade yourself. I have that problem with Ghost Blade, though. Like, Ghost Scepter is a button that you just click. Ghost Blade, you have to click 2 buttons. Like, I have to click on myself. I don't have cast on it. I have quick cast. So, and I don't have it because I usually am buying Ghost Blade to use it offensively. I'm not using it to use it on my, or buying it to use it on myself, which is generally how you should buy it, right? When you buy Ethereal Blade, you're buying it to put it on other people. Generally, you're not using it to, you're not buying it to put it on yourself. It always can be that as a contingency plan, but generally you're buying Ethereal Blade to put it on other people. But when it comes time to put it on myself again, I like lose the ability to do that because I'm using quick cast, so I can't just double tap the button. It's annoying. I wish there was a setting to change that. But no, because I have quick cast set, like I can't, I could have a set to another button, like I could have another button set to that button and then just double tap that button. Maybe I'll do that. So I have 2 things to check in the settings now. I have this Alt D on this slot. Maybe I should put Ghost Blade there when I have it. But then the issue is that it becomes a cast, and I still want it to have quick cast because I want to use it on other people like that. I want to have it on quick cast because quick cast means I have 1 less button to push. So I don't know. Something to screw around with in my settings for sure. But the nice thing here is that the next time that happens, I will be less lazy and I will always have an answer for sniper. Just right clicking me down. It's going to require a combined effort, like I said, for them to bring me down. They're going to need to bring multiple heroes, and it's definitely going to require them to get an angle that I don't see coming. Because look at these traps. I'm even putting them up in the trees, kind of, or to block the trees that Monkey could be. This is kind of a bad one. I should just put it horizontally. This Monkey has to jump across. So I should just put it horizontally here. Just see the Monkey. But just playing this lane creates constant pressure. They can basically never leave bot lane unless I'm dead. Which is a very strong position to be in as a Broodmother because the game becomes quite simple for your team. You know, if they know where your team knows where you're going to be, and they know where the enemy team's going to need to be. So then the game just becomes about like, okay, what can your team do with that information? since they always know the outcome, you know? But your game is kind of static. Of course, you can do a lot of things to push your gameplay to the absolute epitome. So like not getting caught, you know, making sure that the enemy doesn't catch you. I placed a web down there and that actually caught it. It caught the monkey jumping behind me because he's trying to cut against me. He's trying to cut creep waves and make space for his team. But I'm just like, nah, fuck it, dude. I'm just going to get some chip damage. And you look at this and you're like, oh my god, he's feeding spiders. That's nothing. I don't care about that little bit of gold that I just fed Sniper. Like, Sniper has 680 last hits and maybe, you know, 100 of them are spiders, right? Maybe that's 100 gold or 800 gold. I don't really care too much about feeding him 800 gold as much as I do applying this pressure. I could pull him out because the melee Rax does regen, but I'd actually just rather hit the Rax with them and create that pressure that, like, I don't care. I'm going to hit your Rax and I know it's feeding you gold. I don't even care that I'm feeding you gold. I just care that I'm getting chip damage, you know, because that's all I care. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to instill that threat to them of like, I just don't even care, you know, I'm going to take that Rax eventually. And like, you can sit here, you know, your Magnus can skewer forward and horn toss him and, you know, cast all of his spells to kill the creeps, and you're scared of me and you got your Divine Rapier and you're just hitting the spiders quickly. So I don't even care. Okay, because your monkey can get a solo kill on my Dawnbreaker when she's like at our tier 3 or like right here. I don't know what Dawn was doing, just playing here when we knew the monkey was bot side because of my webs. Like, it doesn't even matter that Dawn dies there. Yeah, it's just like my team can play like such morons and I still have control over this game. The big thing is that eventually my team does need to make the right play because eventually they will kill me. It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of how long can I stall it before they can kill me eventually. Gonna be a hard game. And I think my mana regen issues are kind of solved at this point, I want to say. With this like Octarine Orchid thing. I think I could get rid of the Soul Ring, but I'm keeping it because of the gem. That's right. I'm like, oh, well, if I lose the gem, I'd like to have an item. But if I lose the gem, I'm probably gonna need dust. Sure. Yeah. Just because of, I think it's the monkey, right? That has the Shadow Blade now? No, he doesn't. Who's going invisible that makes me want to have gem? Is it just their wards? It might just be their wards, actually. That's what it is. I'm literally just saying to myself, I don't want to be walking on wards. And yeah, you can see their entire team is coming bottom to try to mount an offensive on me. But I'm not giving them a break because partially, you know, I'm controlling the vision. I'm having this gem, so they can't place vision down here. And they're getting stepped on, you know, on my webs. They're stepping on my webs. It's just an unsafe place that they don't feel welcome at being on Dire. So they never get to worry, they never get to feel safe about this lane getting pushed into their racks and killing, you know, me killing their racks and getting megas. And I'm always feeling safe just down here. I do think Octarine is a good push pickup. Actually, like, I'm liking it a lot. Gives Brood a lot of what she needs. It kind of fulfills that role that aghs used to fill. Used to be the case that aghs was that item that you get to take over the map. Gives you a lot of webs. Now it's like, Octarine doesn't necessarily give me a lot of webs, but it gives me a good cooldowns to work with. So, I pretty much always have webs for when I need them. Octarine plus the spawn web recharge talent, I think brings this down to like a, what is it, like a 20 or so second cooldown, something like that. I actually end up TPing here because I was like, I have a web ball, so if I TP here and be with my team as 5 against Roche, then they have to worry if I keep my spiders alive, which I am. I'm keeping my spiders alive. They have to worry about me taking bot while I can threaten Roche here with my team. And so Medusa buys back because of course she does. I mean, sucks she died in the first place, but we definitely need her here. And then as long as I keep those spiders alive, which I am, you know, and then I could send them back in right now, but I'm obviously very distracted by my Medusa going in and TPing on. So my Medusa TP'd here. Let me just look at this entire thing for you guys. So Medusa buys back and TP's on this outpost because for some reason the enemy didn't take it. And then she just walks in with a blink dagger with her swift blink and just gets this thug nasty positioning. Look at this. She's just able to kind of shred. I really wish I had taken my spider ball and went and threatened the racks. That would have been great for me to have done here. I finally do that. I finally start moving them, but look, I'm distracted by the fight. Like, I'm pushing, like, this is so bad, because they're almost about to time out, too. This is sloppy. Wired Brood could use some work. That spider ball could have been the threat of God. It could have been the difference between these creeps hitting their racks right now and forcing their heroes to like feel very awkward about this fight. Either way, we took the fight very convincingly, so it's not going to end up mattering. But that was definitely an inefficiency in my play. Either way, kill the Roche, and I don't think I take anything here. Pretty sure I just give my team the entirety of it. I take the refresher shard, but I think I actually end up giving it to Phoenix. Right? Yeah. You do like refresher shard on Brood though. It's nice. Aghs too, but like you're probably gonna have aghs and shard. All of like you can get a lot of useful things out of Roche. It's just that I go this aghs like second item in the anticipation that it's gonna guarantee us future Roches. So I don't pick up the aghs so my team can get it and win with it. Very selfless hero, the Brood. Buys the items that help your team, that enables your team. I like Solar Crest, by the way, for the record, on the style of Brood. Gives you some mana regen, of course, which is nice, but then also really helps you enable your team. Monkey comes in with an item. We should be policing their Secret Shop more. I could be doing that. I could have spiders on their Secret Shop more. When you're winning, when you're in this kind of position on Brood, you can be owning the Secret Shop. Making sure that the enemy can't ever really access it. But then, so we get Megas, and it's not like this game is over. They still could win, but it's looking a lot more confident for us. As I say that, our Quap gets blink skewered in, but they just can't go on us, right? Like, we have too much. We have Aegis, Cheese, Refresher, so much save if we need it. The Phoenix Egg. And the game's over. No Rampage on Deuce to end the game. So GG. There you have it. How I have been backed on Brood this patch. I'll try to do more of these if I can think of it. GG's.